get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
it
looking
bad, I
at
don't
the
know. My
youngest
rap,
and
my blood
fastest
boils
rising
over
star
like.
in
Oh God, here
professional
goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you had such a fuck up real bad. Shut up.
Welcome everyone to the Hill of the Ring podcast on the BX Sports JEDI Network. We have the WWE SmackDown review. With me this evening, it is the one and only Samurai. What's up, Samurai?
How you doing?
All right. Talk a little bit about some wrestling for Friday night SmackDown in Detroit, Little Caesars Arena. Man, this was a pretty good one. It isn't the usual wrestling. You know, we got spoiled. We all want to see Triple H giving us an A+ show, but this was not a bad program. It is the review. We're a couple of days, 10 days actually to the pay-per-week, you could say, for today. So you're actually a week today for Clash at the Castles. A lot to unpack here as it starts to build up. And of course, we started off, with Happy Corbin taking on Ricochet for the second time in a row. I know a lot of people are criticizing, oh, did the WWE change? They're giving us a replay match. I think there's a storyline here and a storyline building between Ricochet and Happy Corbin. We see the match. You know what? If they're going to perform in the ring the way they performed last week and this week, what is there to complain? Because this was a crisp match. Ricochet with his high flying, Corbin safe worker with his power moves. You saw Ricochet do some springboard with Corbin counters. You saw Ricochet with the corkscrew off outside of the ring, nailing Corbin. Corbin nailing some vicious slams. They work well. Well, let me ask you this: is there really a reason to complain between a Corbin Ricochet 2 match?
Well, see, the thing is, Ricochet and Corbin have like you said, the chemistry is good together, and they I don't know I don't know what the story is with Corbin. I mean, he's lost what, twice in a row to Ricochet.
Yes, he Ricochet with a shoe with a 450.
Yeah, well,
press.
He's lost. Yeah, I mean the 450. I mean, I wish he would do the 630, but he hasn't. So I feel like he's I guess saving that for like a big match or something.
Corbin is only Jay. Not only that, you McAfee and bum Corbin or down on his luck. Could be that he's reverting to that way things are.
Yeah, I mean,
not positive.
I think what they're doing is they're gonna give him a gimmick change, like realistically, because his Happy Corbin gimmick is kind of running stale. I mean, it's not a good gimmick. I mean, was it last year when he came back from obscurity? So I think they're gonna just give him his lone wolf gimmick back, because apparently he had his elbow pad had like the lone wolf insignia on it, which I didn't.
You know what? I didn't observe that one. Huh. I didn't.
I mean, I pay close attention to detail because it's part of my job. That's why I'm a co-analyst. So You know, I mean, I didn't see it. I heard somebody say it on another podcast I was watching, but yeah. But anyway, yeah, the match was really good. They have very good chemistry together. I think, like I said, I think they're just going to give him a complete overhaul as far as his character goes.
All right, here's a thought here. I'm gonna put in Corbin in a minute here. As we see, I love when McAfee with the telestrider just called over him. You know, it's a different element in John Madden type of illustration there. Let me put it this way. Let me run this by you. I wish I had I wish I had the gang. I know everyone's working and it's a Saturday. It's tough to get everyone together here. But what if Corbin, he's losing money, he's going back down on his luck financially, you know, remember his whole gimmick. Let's say he's reverting to that. And I know Triple H wants to beef up tag team wrestling, get more tag team, pair guys together. Here's a tag team. I would love to see this as a tag team. And, you know, this is just me because I know I'm pretty sure I'm going to be in the minority with it. You got another guy who made a lot of money in cryptocurrency. And you bring him up to the main roster with Corbin. You make him a tag team to the moon with money. You're talking about the former United States champion Grimes with Corbin. I like that as a tag team.
Cameron Grimes and Baron Corbin. I mean, I could see it, but I don't think Cameron Grimes. I mean, he's good on his own, but with Corbin, I mean, I don't see that happening right now, at least.
Okay.
I mean,
that's why I said I was going to be in a minority with it because
I get it.
Was like poo, because you can't have Cameron Grimes stay in NXT for so long. What is it wasting his time? Now, let's bring him up to the main roster. All right, we bring Cameron Grimes up to the main roster. The main roster has his heavy hitters already, with whoever's already in the world title pictures right now. You know, your McIntyre, you know, the usual suspects for the main title. Then you have your mid carders who are right now Gunther and Lashley, who are hot heavy hitters, and they got their guys in the mid level. You know, you can't put away Shitstain Nakamura. You can't put away Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens getting pushed. You know, although I think they're going to be moving to a tag team program. My point is, if you elevate these young kids, the same thing I go with Braun Breaker.
Hold on.
You know, when you bring a Braun Breaker up, you need to, I say, team them up for at least about a year. Get them under the ropes of working in the main roster, how it is to be a main roster wrestler. You know, learn from the veterans in a tag team program. Then you split them. Let them, when now the older guys are getting the push, like the AJ Styles, get older and you push them out of the WWE. Then you break that tag team. Let them go and singles. And now they're already a household name with merchandise, promo. Now they're ready to go on their run. Now now is their guy kind of like next. That's why I kind of would like to see that. I would love that in a way. And then you get from both best from both worlds. You help your tag team, you know, which is lacklusting, and if it works, it works. And then you split, and then they could go on their own. That's just me thinking as a booker.
No, I get what you're saying. I do. I mean, I'm just saying that as of right now, it just wouldn't be feasible.
It doesn't have to be right away. I'm talking about
I know. I know.
When you the same thing with me. I've said it here tons of time on the program. We'd love to see Braun Breaker team up with Madcap Moss, kind of like a Steiner Brothers type of iteration as a tag team. They both are young, fit. Get some merchandise. The ladies will love them. You have them go out there as a tag team. Let them work under Madcap. Madcap is a good wrestler. You know, you could be happy. You could be the mouthpiece until Braun Breaker feels comfortable. And then you split them once the older talent starts dissipating, getting older. Like an AJ Styles, 45 years old. You know, what do you got? You say AJ Styles got another year? Edge is going to retire soon. And then you elevate the kids. That's just me there on that. Let's see what we got in the chat.
I get it. I don't know what's going on in chat right now. Somebody just posted something.
You gotta just, you know, I see it there. Yeah, you just salute.
But anyway, so there's so much that like is going on right now. As far as like the mid card division goes, I think what they're doing with that is pretty good. So, like after that match, you know, I can see them elevating Ricochet up a little bit more in the in the mid card division.
Oh, we got a shout out. Design Individual Gifted and Joe is in the chat. That's what I wanted to shout him out. Yes, thank you so much, dude. Design, we apologize because we can't see it on our end. I had to use my phone to get in. It just said Facebook user on the live stream in front of but I go on my phone, I see it's you, Design Individual Gifted. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you. We appreciate that. We saw that there. And Joey as well is watching with us. We appreciate, and all those in the YouTube channel and the Rumba channel, we appreciate, guys. Let's get it. Yes. So back to, sorry, Samurai, to cut you off. I just wanted to do like the tribal chiefs and acknowledge our chat.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to do, but I couldn't see who it was that was saying something. It just said Facebook user. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, when we're watching on the StreamYard, that's why I went on my phone. That gives us the essence of who's watching.
No,
now,
I mean, I was saying, they have a very stacked mid card division on both Raw and SmackDown, and I like how Triple H is actually making it a point to make both titles seem important when Roman Reigns is not when he's not there. You know, he's barely there on Raw, so that they have to emphasize that the United States Championship is a secondary title.
They're making those titles, those mid-card titles, important.
Yeah,
they have two current champions larger than life, you know, and we'll get to that reason, you know, in a little bit. And that's why I think, you know, you bring up Corbin. That's why I think, you know, thinking a little about Corbin, Cameron Grimes, make them a tag team. They look different. One is the speed. Corbin is the powerhouse, and you could make Grimes the speed, the agility, the technical wrestler in the ring, or, you know, and maybe it work, maybe it won't work. That's just me fantasy booking, but we shall see. We'll move on. I'm gonna make a whole stream of possibility of NXT call-ups who are a little bit above their stay in NXT, who's ready for a main roster. And if you don't want a single run and you want to boost up your tag team, you could do that. Like, they're similar to a baseball team when they call up the minor league players to post the main, you know, from AAA offer to the major leagues to help out in certain areas and certain positions that needs an influx of young talent. You can do that with the tag team, and you can make the tag team division exciting. And then once the older veterans are no longer in the title picture, you could actually bring them into tag team and make the older, you know, switch kind of roles when they have next, and you can still keep everyone interested with new storylines and creative, and you don't have to, you know, we got a bunch of talent that we don't know what to do, and you can keep everyone employed. But I digress. We'll move on from there. We'll continue to SmackDown because, like I said, I'm gonna see, you know, make a panel of, you know, I got one thing great about the Beat Heal the Ring podcast. I got great minds, great panelists that, you know, that we can have any type of topic like that, and we could go on for hours. But let's continue the SmackDown segment. We go to the back for a promo. One of the promos is like, oh, pretty dope. I see, and I'm not too hot with them, but we saw the Street Profits getting a run-in with Hit Row. I loved it. I love to see that interaction. I love when they all have something in common, and it's money. What was your thoughts there to see those two teams?
I mean, I thought.
Samurai, hopefully you don't have any technical difficulties. Are you there, my friend? As Samurai has a little bit of a technical difficulty, he'll get in. Probably the weather, the rainstorms, the thunderstorms out and about. I know.
I'm sorry. I was trying to actually.
Yeah, give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts on that. Yes.
I mean, you know, it is. I thought it was great because, you know, you don't see them the interaction between those two teams, and it was like, you know, it was fascinating. I
It
didn't
was
even know.
fun.
I was at first I was confused as to why they're on why the Street Profits were on SmackDown, but then I realized that okay, I get it. I know what they're doing. They're setting up an angle between two other teams.
As the night perspires, we'll touch that back on there. I like to see that. I love that interaction. You know, they wanted to smoke, and you know, I love the fact Michael Cole told Pat Cafferty, say, sit down. You know, you're gonna chase smoke. No, sit down. We got a show to do. That's hilarious. I love that interaction between them. You know, right now, to me, Cole and McAfee are one of the top broadcasters. And speaking about, I want to take a moment here to congratulate NXT's own Wade Barrett for signing a 2-year extension and will stay on with the NXT broadcasting team. I think, to me, they're the second best broadcasting team in all of WWE, behind McAfee and Cole. No disrespect to Corey Graves, Barry Saxon, and I even forget that name. Jimmy Smith. I'm not too, they're not bad. They're not boring either. But I think Wade Barrett, to me, is awesome. In the NXT. Whenever I review and watch the shows afterwards, I tape it. They're very entertaining. So I'm glad that he is staying on for another 2 years. He is not going to have another match, no matter how much people ask him, because NXT crowd asks him each and every week, and he says no. So, yeah, he's not having a match. But I'm glad they're McAfee and we're funny, and they go to the commercial break, and we come back from commercial break. We have the Drew McIntyre video package, and followed by an anonymous promo from Killian Cross. A lot to unpack here. First of all, let's go with McIntyre giving us the heartfelt, setting us up or teasing us, pulling our strings. We might have a undisputed change of title there, because the Tribal Chief days are coming to a close. Samurai, with that promo.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before we went live, I'm like, I don't think that they're gonna give Drew the title. I mean, I want them to, because Roman's he's only a part-time champion, and they need the titles on either Raw or SmackDown. So, with that being said, I feel like they want to give the title to Roman to Drew McIntyre, but then at the same time, as you alluded to, there was an ominous promo from Karrion Kross, who says, "Go ahead."
No, you finish it off, buddy.
Well, basically, he says that his Drew McIntyre's time is not right now. At any moment, he can bash his head in. Basically, is what he said. To me, I found it to be rather foreshadowing.
Oh,
foreshadowing of what's to come at Clash of the Castle. I feel like Karrion Kross is going to find some way to interject himself in the match and cost Drew McIntyre the title.
Okay. We shall see. It's a lot there to unpack with those two promos. Those two promos, were pretty good. I gotta say, Killian Cross on the microphone, phenomenal. Now we have to see the in-ring action. Hopefully it follows by, for all the newbies that don't see, there's been a lot of chit chatting with Karrion Kross coming out with Scarlett Bordeaux and the Hourglass. Now let's see, can't wait for his ring debut. It's like those old build-ups with the vignettes that they used to give us teasing. He's coming, and Karrion Kross live in action, though. We saw him got physical, beating the living crap out of Drew when he first arrived, but I can't wait to see him in the ring, about how vicious he's going to look. He's going to look phenomenal in his in-ring debut. When that happens, I can't wait to see that. And also, I want to debunk something, though, of a little bit of a stereotype. Yes, it was announced, that Roman was going to take a part-time or a lighter schedule, and that was before the issues that happened with Mr. McMahon coming down as no longer chairman. But I got to tell you something. The last month, since July, ever since Mr. McMahon has stepped down, we're starting to see more Roman Reigns, though. we're seeing him more often, even if it's just cutting promos or being in there backstage. He was in Montreal. You know, both he was there. He was available tonight. We saw him tonight, 2 weeks in a row. He did wrestle in Ottawa, out in the Saturday night's main event program. So the stereotype that he isn't working or part-time, I kind of want to get a little bit of a pushback, because we're seeing more. Before we saw him, when was it, that in WrestleMania Backlash, and then we didn't see him at all, not even house shows or in none of the programs, Raw, SmackDown, until he had that match with Riddle, when he beat Riddle, and that was almost a month to 5 weeks without seeing him. But now the point is, we're seeing him more often. Do you think with Triple H now, and he's been vocal, he doesn't believe in part-time performers or talent, could it be now, Roman says, if I want to continue this lore with this title range and keeping the new bloodline over as much, and help not just himself, Jay, Jimmy, and Solo, and the Mia, bloodline to make money, I have to kind of put my big boy pants. So maybe he hasn't gotten a role in Hollywood that he thought he was gonna pursue. Samurai.
I agree with you there, but you also forgot Sami Zayn.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Oh, what? How did I forget? The redheaded stepchild. That is Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn, the GOAT of the bloodline so far.
Indeed. So when we finally get through those promos, those vignettes, we finally get into the second chance fatal 4-way tag match for, we all know Toxic Attraction, Gigi Dolan suffered a concussion, had a bow out. They did a second chance tag team, with all the ladies. Mia Deville kicked off, knocking Natalia off the apron with a super kick before hitting a Samoan drop in the ring. But to drop the pin, just using her weight. I loved Piper Nevlin came in with that, and Azaya and Shotzi rushed the ring. They were taken out by Tamia before Dana Brooks came in and hit with a necker. You got two drop with a big crossbody before Natalia takes her down. Zaya Lee with a great clothesline that sent everyone outside to the outside. Dana Brooke and Nikki from the top rope. Dana Brooks press suplex. Dana Brooks outside, and the lady catching. Although if you look at it slowly, Nikki ASH kind of lands on her ankle and twists a little bit. Looks like her ankle was hurt on that. But you saw Sonya Deville was very, very slick. Got the tag first before foremost when they were setting up for that suplex. She was a legal lady and got Nikki into the ring. Gets the win with a lateral press. Natalia, Sonya Deville moves on. So it was like a big runaround for nothing. Ladies who were originally there ends up going to the semifinals. Samurai.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't really see, anybody else besides Sonya Deville and Natalia winning this match, to be quite honest with you. Because the other teams are on all the other teams besides who was it, Shotzi and Xia Li, they're on Raw. So for a Raw team to win on SmackDown wouldn't have made any sense. They didn't want to been a Raw and a Raw versus Raw team. Like, it would have been SmackDown. Yeah, there you go. It would have been who was it? In the it would have been Nikki ASH and Doudrop, or who else was in the
No,
tournament?
they didn't put no SmackDown women, because the only actually they did. It was Nikki ASH and Piper Neville, aka Doudrop, the only one from Raw over this bracket. They did not allow Asuka and Alexa over. They kept them there on that end of the bracket. They didn't participate in that second chance.
Okay, yeah.
They were the only team, because Toxic, due to not being medically cleared, were not allowed. and they never even revisit Zoe Starks and Nikita Lyons. They didn't even revisit them, period. You know, if it wasn't Detroit, it would have been interesting to see. They were medically cleared, they're able to wrestle, you know, and even if they would have showed up just to get them in WWE SmackDown infusion of younger women, even if they would have participated in this, would have been interesting too to see them as well, but they decided not to. Then it just was like, it was a tease. Unfortunately, Gigi got injured. I would have loved to. Tonight would have been, to me, would have been a mark. I think tonight I would have done the watch along. I mean, the Friday Night SmackDown would have been a live watch along if Toxic Attraction was fighting Raquel and Aaliyah. Me personally, because of the NXT route, I think I would have done the watch along just to see Toxic opportunity to get to the finals. But all in all, we saw Bayley, we saw Damage Control, Bayley, Dakota, and Io all on commentary messing around with Cole. I love that. You know, with the ding dong Cole. I love that. That was hilarious. I really enjoyed that. That was good. The right team won here. Everybody who criticized this, they all have a case to poo-poo or criticize any of the ladies. None of these ladies are seen as championship material, although I would have, you know, if you look at it, I would have loved for something different or excitement, Shotzi and Xia Li. Although personally, if I was redoing this women tournament with pairing, I would have done Sonya Deville and Shotzi. Would have been a badass team, my opinion.
Yeah, you just changed the team members around. I mean, that would have been better. You know, I feel as though the way that it goes, the whole booking and the storyline is now. See now that who was it? Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah are in the finals. I mean, you know, are we on that match yet, or are we still talking about the Fatal 4-Way?
We're still talking on the Fatal 4-Way, but we before we get to the finals, the winner, which is like you said, Natalia and Sonya Deville, are going to take on Raquel and Aaliyah later on.
Yeah.
Before we get to that title match, we had one to me, it's been and we don't like, you know, we emphasize all of these promos, but the best in-ring promo in a long time, you know, for WWE stand for SmackDown, was Sheamus and the ring general, the associate Ludwig Kaiser, Holland, and Pete, aka Butch Dunn. Boy, that was freaking bad ass.
That was, yeah. I actually genuinely I like that promo because it just reeked of genuine. What do you say? You know, genuine emotion. You know, I felt like they actually put the title first. They put the title first, and you know it's going to be a banger of a match. You know, as Sheamus said, he's put on banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. You know, so it's gonna be something to watch. I don't know who wins the match though, but it's gonna be a hell of a match to watch.
I love the fact that Sheamus cut on his promo. He wants to pre-celebrate becoming a Grand Slam champion at Clash of the Castles. Wow. Disrespecting Gunther, but Gunther came out. Gunther, you know, mentioned and acknowledged about his accomplishments there, but Gunther is not going to back down from anyone there. They had that stare down, and they had everyone around them going at it. You know, I love the fact that the ring general said he had 4 guys like Cena, Triple H, Roman Reigns. You know, it was great to mention that, a little bit of clash down of the history there. Gunther also fires back that Sheamus is a veteran. He's up and coming young guy, and I loved it. You know, you had Butch, aka Pete Dunne, going nuts with Ludwig Kaiser, also Holland. They just wrestled around them, and those two men stare at each other like, "What's up?" You know, the big stare down. You know, emulating to Hogan and Andre the Giant. I'm not saying it's like that, but you got back to that, like, you know, 2 larger than life European wrestlers. That's going to be in Cardiff, Wales. That's going to be like you said, a bang. This is classic WWE here, or wrestling. This is what they want. They want to string at your emotions. If you are not convinced on wanting to watch Clash of the Castles and you're watching SmackDown, let's say you're somewhere where they have free TV and they're watching that, and you see this, like, oh, I think I'm going to invest the monthly $4 to get Peacock to watch this. It's a drawing to you because you got these two personas just going at it, staring right through each other, like who's gonna blink. And that's what, when you do, that's called promo 101. And they got it. They kept it simple, they kept it fresh, and they kept you wanting more.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I was talking about. Like I love the genuine like reaction of the crowd. I mean, basically what happened is like the crowd basically turned Sheamus face. Sheamus actually kind of turned himself face too by just the way he cut the promo. But at the same time, I like I said, I just want to. I can't wait until they finally change Butch back to Pete Dunne.
It should be happening there. I know you've been saying that week after week. It was going to happen. We'll see that. I just want to take a moment to say hello to Kirk Johnson, is watching us on the Facebook app. Thank you, Kirk, for tuning in. Thank you for being part of the Heal the Ring podcast group. We appreciate you there. So yeah, we should hopefully Pete Dunne comes back. No more Butch. Hopefully that name, we get a new person. Let's get our main man Terrence. Terrence, what's up, Terrence?
Hey, what's up?
Terrence out there making some money, then working, and you know how it goes.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear. Terrence, Let me ask you this. That promo between Sheamus and the ring general, Gunther, wow.
I loved it, man. I loved every second of that entire, not just like between them talking, but just like what was going on in the background.
I was saying to Samurai, I was saying to the crowd, salute to Eric Perez, who's watching us on the Facebook of Heal the Ring group. If you are not thinking about purchasing this live premium event and you see that stare down classic, invest it. Did that in peak? Well, I want to see these two larger than life guys go at it. Did that kind of give you those type of vibes?
For me, yeah. Like, cause I've been saying, like, I've been wanting to see this. Like when they had that Fatal 5-Way or whatever match, I was rooting for Sheamus pretty much the entire way, because like anybody else in that match was like, I mean, it's cool, but I want to see like two, like not just like two big guys go at it, but just like, two hard hitting, because Sheamus he hard hitting himself, and then Gunther with them damn chops. Sheesh. So just that alone, just those two, and then just from that promo, I think they both like, they sold me on the fight. Like they don't really need to have, and you notice that was the only, I don't know if I'm too far ahead, but that was the only in-ring promo of the night, like in-ring promo, right. Like talking.
You're right.
And that was right. Like, and to me, they delivered on that. So if it was just for me, I would purchase it. I mean, but I would already purchase it anyway, just because,
Of course. And speaking of the tribal chief, we move on here to a segment. We go backstage. We see Sami Zayn trying to get into Roman's locker room, knocking on the door. Try not to let him in. And then Roman asked him to come inside. So we seen, oh, wait a minute. And I love the fact that Jay could not contain his laughter. He was cracking up, and I thought that made it even funnier. I loved it because it's a little realism. I loved it, and because he goes, he really letting him in here. That was the crack up. That this weasel actually gonna get inside. It's like the Roxbury's. The guys finally get inside the club, and they allow him in. So I found that as a funny moment without really being too funny, and his reaction genuine. But we seen him. Reigns talked about his Sami almost won, and he says, Sami, you have an opportunity to McIntyre, so keep him busy until 8 days. Pretty much using him as a pawn or getting his dirty deed out there. And of course, Sami Zayn kind of gave away his plan, though. If you thought about it, guys, he says, "I like to be like a weasel to get in, make a picnic in their head, sit down, make them comfortable, and wham." So, don't you think you're giving away what you're trying to do to the bloodline here? So that might come back to bite them in the rear end, Terrence.
You saw how as soon as what you just said, like you said, it seems he. I just came from the gym, so bear with me. Like what you just said, as soon as he said that, did you see like the look on Roman's face? You're like, wait, what? What are you talking about?
Exactly.
You're like the weasel your way in. What? Jeez. So I had to think, like, even though Roman and the crew are like playing him, in a way, he's kind of like, seems like he's kind of playing them. So it's kind of like a little like, back and forth thing going on there, low key.
Exactly. Yes. I want to get Samurai in that there. Your thoughts when you heard that? Did you get that dissension, or that opened up your eyes towards that possibility there? Because there's teasing storyline within storyline between Zayn and Roman, or Jey Uso, or the whole bloodline.
Well, I mean, I think where it's going is they're eventually going to get Kevin Owens involved in this. So, the whole dynamic between Sami and Jey is it's fantastic. I genuinely laugh every time I see it because he's like he's so mad that he talked to Roman behind his back last week about the whole how he's always yelling at him, and he's like it's like a kindergartner telling another kindergartner about telling teacher about what another kindergartner did. Basically, it's like he's basically telling on him, which I find it hilarious. But I do see, I don't know. I mean, the dissension's there. I just feel like it's not going to happen anytime soon because the reason why the Usos are not at Clash Castle is because they're whatever they got going on, but they can't go across. They can't leave the United States. So what they're gonna hold it off until what's after Clash Castle?
They haven't announced it. They haven't announced it yet. They haven't announced the premium live event's name after, but pretty sure it's coming. It's whatever it is, they'll be out there defending the tag titles.
I don't know. I mean, I just feel like I don't even know if they're going to Saudi Arabia this year, are they? I don't think so. Because if they do that, then Sami can't.
No announcement yet. Nothing is said yet. Nothing has said yet.
Usually they do the Saudi show in October. So
November. No, it's November. The beginning of November. It's the beginning of November. They'll do the Saudi show.
And then there's separate survivors. Yes, they have
Crown Jewel. There you go.
Yeah. Then they haven't announced it yet, so I'm guessing they're gonna hold off on it because of political reasons. But I don't know because they're gonna have to find a way to incorporate Kevin Owens into the storyline, and how they do it, I don't know. How do you think they do it?
Yeah, if you go back to the previous weeks on Raw and SmackDown. You see,
it was on Raw. I think I'm talking about where Kevin says take a tribal chief.
Hold on. Yeah, he said like something like to that effect, like whether it's the tag team, the United States, the Intercontinental, the WWE, so on and so forth. He said something like to that effect, like he's coming forward. And then that week on SmackDown, if you recall, Roman, like when Roman and Sami had that backstage segment. If you remember, they was talking about it, and then Roman had before Sami left to go get ready for his fight or whatever, he had mentioned to Sami, he's like, leave a message for Kevin Owens to tell him yada yada yada, and I run this and something to that effect or whatever. So it's slowly building. I feel like they're gonna incorporate him in it. Well, they already incorporate him in it, but just it's not a right away thing. It's simmering a little bit.
Long term booking.
Exactly. Long term booking is the name of the game. Something that we haven't seen in such a long time that it's kind of like new to us now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're building it up slowly because right now you could see that Sammy's weaseling his way into Bloodline. Why? And then now the tribal chief's like, wait a minute, you just gave me your game plan. I was using you, but now you're weaseling your way here. I'm going to try to one up you later down the road, but not now. Right now, the tribal chief, if it's true that if Jimmy and Jay cannot travel overseas, and the wise man out, Paul Heyman still recovering from the F5 to the table, tribal chief going to Carter Wales alone, you bring in, you might want to have a pinch weasel as a Sami Zayn in your corner. So maybe that's what that might be leading down the road there. He won't feel too vulnerable. And maybe if let's say the unthinkable, he drops the unified title, and they could blame it on not Sami Zayn not being there, and you could turn, and here comes Owen to help out, or you could see Jimmy taking over the bloodline, and similar to what HBK had that injury, and we had Triple H the next day form DGX, the new DX, with him running and bringing the New Age Outlaw. And then you could bring the Jimmy and Jay. You know what? You go to family, cut promo, and then you debut a Solo Sikoa. They take out Jimmy Uso. They take out Sami Zayn, and then Kevin Owens comes to rescue. There's so many storylines within the storylines that it's fun.
It's a plethora of possibility. Solo's hurt right now, I think, right? Yes. As according to Brian Wagner, he's hurt. He's hurt,
according to what they told us in NXT. But there's been rumors now. The incomparable Dave Meltzer. Everybody, every fart from wrestling has to come out of Wrestling Scoop has to come from Dave Meltzer's. Says that they're bringing him up to the main roster.
Well, I actually. I was hoping that we would see another, former NXT faction show up tonight, but that didn't happen. No, it might happen in a couple of weeks down the road, but you know what I'm talking about.
No, that's not gonna happen until maybe after the Clash of the Castle.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm hoping that it does happen, because if it does,
they're gonna get them acclimated and all that stuff. Yeah, we'll see on that there. With that, we'll see if it happens, if and when it happens.
It's definitely gonna happen.
Although you still have Smack Raw Go Home show on Monday.
Yeah, but why would you want to debut them on Raw when they're better suited on SmackDown?
Well, we're talking on SmackDown right now, so we'll wait for that Raw when it happens on that there. We shall see, but I'm just saying, don't be surprised if we just see them just make a peekaboo and Smack in Raw. Make an appearance, but we shall see there. We shall see. You never know. Although you're right, they're suited for the blue brand, but we'll wait to see what they have in mind for them. Yes.
So I kind of got a little. I'm kind of worried a little bit. I feel like Roman and the Usos are Roman's gonna win at Clash of the Castle, but low key, somehow they trying to make Drew win. I don't know why.
Well, the promos that they were giving us were heartfelt. For playing the emotional string on Drew, especially going over to the UK for the first time in over 30 years, a live stadium event. That they're pushing those heartstrings, and you're like, and also, the rumor, the reports are Triple H doesn't like the part-time wrestlers holding titles, doesn't like the part-time, either you're in fully or you're not. But I was telling Samurai, I was mentioning earlier, the myth, the stereotype of Roman Reigns being a part-time wrestler is I want to push back on that, because for the whole month, ever since Vince McMahon has stepped out as CFO, you've seen more of Roman Reigns. He was in Montreal. He did wrestle that house show, Saturday Night's Main Event in Ottawa. He was on Monday Night Raw, I think, backstage just for a promo. We're seeing him now it's going to be now 3 weeks in a row on Friday Night SmackDown. Even if it's cutting promos, it's he's still there. He had ring action coming later down the road with no spoilers. Him, and he's probably going to be seen next week before Carter Wales, just to some way somehow cutting a promo or saying who he, reminding us he's the champion. So he's being seen more active. It wasn't before when he wrestled in WrestleMania, or I think WrestleMania Backlash. He didn't even wrestle WrestleMania Backlash. We didn't see him for like about 6 weeks until he had that match with Riddle on SmackDown. Then we didn't see him no more. Yeah. Nothing, just rumors. Triple H now, you're seeing him more. And also, maybe there isn't any Hollywood roles for him to be cast, when he thought he was going to take on that. And you know what? Let me stick more to the wrestling because things are changing and I got to get my bloodline family over, keep that momentum, because with the new regime, we might get lost, pushed back, pushed to the side. So you never know.
Yeah. I mean, I just got that feeling. I don't know why. Like, I feel like they're going to, for some reason, have him drop the title to Drew that fast. But I sincerely hope I am wrong.
Yeah,
I see that happen at least this time soon.
And we have Samurai mentioned you have Austin Theory lingering around there, right, Samurai?
Well, yeah.
But
you got Usos, you got all the people.
Let's be honest. Do we really think that Austin Theory is ready for that world title role yet?
Not on the Triple H. On the McMahon, yes. But not on the Triple H.
Yeah, I think Triple H wants him to, get a few more wins under his belt before he actually does that,
And personally, I think it would have worked under Vince McMahon. I think he would have made that man a freaking star at 24 years old. I don't know if Triple H could, because he has to help and keep all the other guys that he brought back happy. That's the problem when you start bolstering your roster. The honeymoon period starts to wear off. Right now, Triple H is in the honeymoon period with all these guys that he brought back from NXT. That hopefully it doesn't turn out what's going on in AEW, where everyone is disarranged, because the promises that were mentioned are not being kept. So Triple H, hopefully he's learning or see what's going on in the other brand, that he himself don't fall into that trap. That's why Vince McMahon is Vince McMahon. That's why he was so successful for over 4 decades. It might not help, and we might not liked it, we might not enjoyed it, but there was a reason behind that man's madness and that method, and he was successful for 40 plus years for a reason. But I don't want to get away from the SmackDown review. We get into the the semifinal match for the women's tag title. You have Rodriguez, Aaliyah taking on Natalya and Sonya Deville. And I was saying earlier, this is where I was going to do a watch along with Toxic was going to be in that finals. I would have been marking out live, but no, we get this here. The match was a okay match there, but I want to plant a seed here. I'm thinking Aaliyah turns heel. Aaliyah is going to betray Raquel, and I'm planting a seed here. And I'll tell you in a minute there. Give me your thoughts on the match, Samurai, with these ladies.
Are we talking? I don't know what happened there, honestly. I mean, Aaliyah's she's not good. I said it last week. She's not good. She needs more work. Like, realistically. Like, actually, no, I said on Twitter like Monday, she doesn't have the in-ring what would you call it? In-ring skill to get over by herself. So she needs to be in a tag team. Like, as you saw during the match, she got the wind knocked out of her the first 30 seconds on the outside of the on that slam.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't even factor into the match.
That's the reason why I'm saying she's a heel. Why there might be a heel turn. All in all, Terrence, that in ring, you saw Raquel Rodriguez hit the Tejada bomb for the victory using her power. She carried the match herself. It was basically a 2-on-1 because Aaliyah did some good moves, yes, but then she got knocked out. But she stood way too long, and it was too early in the match for her to be just like hovering on the outside on the canvas. So your thoughts there, and go ahead.
I mean, the way they were fighting Natalia and Sonya, it made it seem like they were the ones that had a match earlier in the night, you know. But
Right.
I thought it was strange. That like she basically stayed out like for the entire match,
The whole
and
match.
then she just came in at the end celebrating, full of energy, like, "Yay, what's going on?" Like, I don't know. Like,
Exactly.
I'm
But
leaning. I like her. But I think she probably does need to go back down to NXT. But then
there
again,
was
like I said before, like maybe even though they're not going to win this tournament, she probably should stay in the tag team just to kind of go along a little bit with it, just to see where she's at, and then as far as a heel turn, I don't know.
no,
I don't know. Here's the reason why. Yeah, go ahead, Samurai.
Well, I was gonna say, I do have. I was gonna say something about Bailey on commentary. She was on commentary during this match, right? Or was it
Yes.
semi?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
She was there. She was on commentary.
Bailey is absolutely fantastic on commentary alongside Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. I think that like a couple of times, like when they split outside the ring, she was like, "Watch out, Cole! Watch out, Cole!" And then Cole was like, "You saved me, and you say you do like me." And she's like, I forget what else she said. She's like,
I wanted to see you flinch.
"Yeah." She's just great. I mean, she does not like Michael Cole. I found that to be funny, but I didn't want to take away from that. I just wanted to just put that out there.
All right, so maybe here's my thing. Aaliyah is playing the novice. I agree with you guys. She should be in a tag team, but I think what they're going to showcase here, she's playing up and being this little Miss Small, undersized. Oh, I get injured so bad, and then she's just gonna flip on Raquel, beat her up. The heel turn is gonna make her look vicious. She's gonna surprise folks, and of course we're like, whoa. And I think she's gonna beat the living crap out of Raquel Rodriguez next week, turning a heel there. That's because that's how you don't want to lose heat on Raquel Rodriguez momentum, and you start a new feud there, with them, and you build something different. Because if you don't want the stench of them losing on Raquel, like she was from Ronda Rousey's match, you thought they were gonna push her to the moon, strap a rocket to the moon, but it kind of phased a little bit. I don't know, because they want to see what happens with Liv, and going forward, you don't want to ascend her too quickly, but we shall see there, because we also got a lot of teasing throughout the night. We before that match, I meant to tell you guys, we had an interview with Sonya Deville and Natalia winning, going on to this finals, to eventually lose here. But in the background, as you see Piper Niven arguing with Nikki ASH. So you're looking at a possible split on those two going out there. So that might be a theme going forward. But you're saying something, but if they're revamping these tag titles, why are you breaking up teams? Because you don't want to have the same teams over and over, wrestling each other over and over again. We saw them in a tournament. What makes you think they're going to now, for a tag title, I want to see them again? Unless if they're going to mix and match now some of these ladies.
You know what I think happens? I think that you also have to remember there's some chemistry, there's some history between Dakota Kai and Raquel. Remember, that's gonna be a little tidbit there. Monday, we could possibly see. What I see happening, I see Aaliyah taking the pinfall, because there's no way they're gonna pin Raquel, right?
It'll make sense, yeah.
It'll make sense unless if you're doing the heel turn where she just totally. Then that's different. But everyone, because listen, think about it. Everyone and their mother is thinking Aaliyah is the one that's going to get pinned. What if your diff do something different?
I mean, they could swerve us as well and have Raquel take the pin too. I'm just saying. I'm just thinking logically, because like you're building up Raquel to be a dominant, force in the women's division, only to have her take the pinfall. I mean, that to me that it makes sense because they're trying to make her.
Unless if Raquel is going to turn the heel.
What?
Because she's I'm upset of you carrying you through this whole tournament, and you didn't help me last match. When she does cut the promo, that could be where it could be.
But
I know what you mean. I get it. I mean, like I said, all of this makes it just ties in completely well, and you just have to see it. Like it could be. It gives us a reason to tune in to Raw next Monday. See what happens.
I was gonna say, turning Raquel here would be kind of like another Rhea and Liv thing.
Yeah.
Basically. That's why I wouldn't do that. Go that route.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you think they where would they put it in the finals in the show? Because technically a finals match would be like main event worthy, right?
Hey, Samurai.
Yes.
So for this one, I think the only way they will put that as a main event is if something big is going to happen at the end of the show.
You mean like a possible return? I mean, I could see that. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, do they do that? Do they hold off?
Mm-hmm.
Do they hold off until the end of the night? Like,
it all depends on Monday. That's why we have to tune in to Raw. If they showing us that these tag titles are going to be at the end main event, we're going to crown a new women's title. We're going to give that emphasis on the main event. Then we know something big is going to have us talking about it. All the way to Cardiff, Wales, because unfortunately next week's SmackDown has been pre-taped. So this Monday night is a go-home show. If you really see and go with it, and it'd be interesting to see when they place that match. That's going to tell us a lot. It's going to kind of tip his hands just a little bit on what's going to happen that evening.
Yeah. I mean, we've been on this tag team title situation for about a good 10 minutes now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
you're right.
It's intriguing. Like,
it is.
You crown a new champs. You got returns possibly coming back and everything. So
possibly new storylines. Possibly new storylines there too, if it does happen. Because you're right. Listening and having this conversation with you guys, to see that you're telling me, Liv and Rhea, but you're right. You don't want it because you don't want too many heels, larger than life women heels. You already have Rhea Ripley, which I totally keep forgetting about, that she's larger than life. But then you make Aaliyah the heel, and you could get the Aaliyah. People really don't like her. Get people more to dislike her for get the boos. People don't even cheer when she's supposed to be the cute, and she comes out, eye candy wise, but she still get no pop. She still gets no pop.
She gets no reaction. I mean, see what they did. I think what they did, they pulled her from NXT too early.
Right. Regardless of that, though, but here's a way of getting someone who doesn't get pop. You turn them heel to beat up your baby face. Your larger than life Raquel Rodriguez was phenomenal right now. You would have her beat the crap, have her cause the reason why losing the titles. Now people are you're gonna get some kind of reaction from Aaliyah, at least, hateful, upset, better than getting no reaction. That's the one thing they tell people in the business. If you're out there and you don't get no reaction, you should be worried. If you get, I guarantee if you ask Grayson Waller, and this is would you rather get people, not cheering you or saying they can't stand the living daylights as soon as your music hits? They want that. Even Duke Hudson, everybody boos the living crap out of him. You're getting a reaction, and that's what you want. And if you're Aaliyah, you have to try that. If you're the WWE and you're Aaliyah, you have to try that heel route to get some kind of reaction from the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I get it. I do. I mean, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying it's just like.
It doesn't have to be that way. I mean, I'm just making a case. I'm being an advocate for why Aaliyah should turn heel or teasing. The way I see it, the way I'm watching it, I'm seeing a little bit of a tease there because she was supposedly out and about, dead and then when they ring, she spurts like a bat out of hell right into the arms of yeah. That's the way I see that.
And that's another thing. Like, remember every time I mean, I can keep comparing it to Rhea and Liv, like just like the little things, like you see how like when she's running, jumping their arms and stuff like that, and celebrating and stuff like that. I'm like, you know, so I'm intrigued about that heel turn, but I don't know if she has it. I don't know if she has it in her to like be a heel at this moment.
You might be right, because we saw her crying, for God's sakes, last week on a match on Monday Night Raw a couple of days ago, because she was in front of her friends and family. So we don't know if her emotions could be checked for a heel run. You're right, Terrence. I mean, it could go totally bad, but if you're at this point, if you're Aaliyah and you're creative, you gotta try something with Aaliyah, because you cannot send her out here to no reaction. To me, it's more detriment than anything. You don't want people to be in a snooze fest. You want something, even if they can despise, even if they, you know, I'm not condoning it, even if they throw trash, you know, I'm not saying go ahead and do that. I'm not saying, but I'm saying you're getting a reaction. That's all I'm saying. Going forward,
getting something.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
But interesting to see on Monday Night Raw when they get crowned woman tag. You know, stranger things can happen, but I doubt it. See, Monday Night Raw will be interesting if the former NXT, ladies, all of them, get showcased there. All 4 ladies, all NXT. So good job there on Triple H's NXT Black and Gold. It's fun to see that there, and let's see how that. They're going to deliver a banger of a match, but I would like to see the storyline within the storyline. Now, as we move on here, we have a backstage segment with Maximum Male Models doing a beautiful shoot. But there's music in the background. The Hit Row bus is pumping, or with what appears to be the Hit Row bus with music and lights. And Max Dupree is annoyed and frustrated that they can't concentrate and take pictures. Maxine says, I'm going to get this taken care of. And they move away here. This promo, they're building something, you know, and it's kind of funny. Your thoughts on that there? Terrence?
The Fugees.
Ooh la la la. I mean, and before they even started, I think Martel Ford did do a little bit of a Fuji type of hymn harmony when they interacted in the beginning segment.
Yeah, they did like some kind of like Who Want to Smoke, and they did something. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, but if you look at it again, he hums something similar to a Fuji type of verse, and I was cracking up because I know you heard me, Montel.
I was about to say he heard the podcast of the day. He heard it, so you gotta be careful. Even though we weren't talking about him, but you know. But yeah, that's an interesting little segment there. I mean, not too much I can put away from that because it's a Street Profits, so you know they gave Hit Row and Maximum Male Models some kind of credit for that little time on screen at that moment in time in the show. So
I'm gonna finish the whole promo so we could just leave that and move on from that instead of going pieces for pieces. We had them there. We saw Maxine walk away, says she'll take care of it. Then later on in the evening, we get the promo back again. She brings Lolotarios. So Lotarios come out. Oh, Maxine, I think she has the hots. She has the hots for Lotarios. It looks like it. And they go and they spray paint Hit Row Sucks. You know, I guess they, like I said, hearing our podcast, they heard it from last week. And they spray painted similar to NWO with Hogan. But it was not Hit Row's bus. It was the Street Profits bus. The Profits come out. Hit Row's coming back from catering because, you know, that's what they do. They like to go to catering when they're not on the wrestling program, when they don't have a match. They go to catering. They you know. Eat, so, yeah, they got to eat, man. I'm pretty sure there's a nice spread there, too. So they're coming back from catering and awkward moments. It looks like teasing a match for next week. Maximum Models finally going to make their in-ring debut. And they're going to take on Hit Row there. And I think, you know, setting up maybe a possible 8-man tag coming up. Samurai, your thoughts?
8-man tag. I can see that, yeah. I mean, because you get, I've never, like I said, I've never seen Sophia Cromwell wrestle, so I don't know if she's any good. But who would you put as the woman for the Street Profits? Or not the Street Profits. Wait. They already
No,
have. They have.
You meant
okay,
eight.
yeah,
You got eight man. You got Lotharios with Maximum Model taking on Hit Row and Street Profits.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. Like, you know, a 8-man like mixed tag team type of match.
No, I would have said mixed tag or intergender.
Okay, I get it. So yeah, I could definitely see that. Like, Los Lotharios and Maximum Models versus Hit Row and Street Profits, and then just have Sophia Cromwell and Beef Dab on the outside. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I wouldn't do it right away. I mean, we see that they're not doing it right away. They might do it like a week after the fact. So
right. It's a long-term booking.
Yeah, long-term booking indeed. I'm kind of glad to see them on the outside. You know, from the outside looking in, seeing them finally get a chance to wrestle, because the whole Maximum Male Model thing was kind of falling flat on its face. I mean, it's not good. I mean, it may titillate some people's juices, but it doesn't titillate my juices.
You know what? It's because we need LA Knight back. That's why.
We all want LA Knight. LA Knight needs to just. He needs to get away from the whole Maximum Male Model thing.
He needs to come in and be like,
we'll
yeah.
I think that's something that Triple H will eventually get around to doing. You know, getting him away from that dead gimmick. Because I mean, you have Sophia Cromwell who fits the mold a lot better. You know, she fits the mold a lot better than LA Knight does.
I agree with you on that. We'll see on that. It's long-term booking there. This is why, folks, some people say that they didn't enjoy too much this SmackDown. I mean, it has its moments, it has its ups and downs. Remember, they're trying to build something here, close up some storylines, prepare for Cash the Castle. But before that, before the main event, we have another backstage with the Usos, especially Jay, got in Sami's face backstage, told him, go handle business. So he gets in his face, he tells him to go handle business, and he gives him a confident pound, in the back, like I had a boy. I was like, ooh, as he come to a little bit of a warming to Sami Zayn there, little tease there. I was like, oh, good to see that. But there's always something lurking. This is why you have to watch WWE wrestling. Now there's Easter eggs in every promo, every little bit of a tease. Who is this mystery person in the background? That is being all over. Every time there's a promo, it's not like, oh, here's a chance for me to go get a soda, another crustable. You have to keep an eye on the wrestling, on every aspect of it with your undivided attention. They are teasing us something there, which is great. Where is Waldo type of tease? I don't know who this guy looks like. To me, it looks like a little bit like a Kevin Owens. I don't know. You want to be continued?
I would have to.
I don't even know who that was. I didn't even notice that when it first aired. But now that you get a screenshot of it, I don't know who that could be.
Leave it up there.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. You can't really see like the body shape, but
there is a minor belly, like Kevin Owens type.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. If you really like look, it could be Kevin Owens, but it could also be somebody else.
Kevin Owens with a simpático or genérico mask.
LJ, speaking of that, Michael did mention El Generico last week, so
I'm just saying
he could be just wearing an El Generico mask just to try and cover himself up.
Okay,
I mean, you can tell.
Give me 1 second here. This is the time of the day, time of the podcast that I always do this, and I'm gonna start doing that every podcast. Paul Levere, Triple H, give me a call for creative. I have great ideas, man. You watch my podcast. I've got a lot of great ideas. I got Charles with great ideas. I got Terrence. We go to NXT. You know what? We live in Orlando. It's not going to cost you much to room and board us. We want to work for the WWE creative. So back to the normal program.
Hey man, good pitch.
I
Man,
mean,
good pitch, for real.
you can basically see the tattoos of the person that's behind Jay, or is that Jay? Yeah, Jay Uso. You gotta see the tattoos. So it's not really, it's not a dead giveaway, but you know what I mean.
It's hard to see though. To see, I even tried to zoom it in, and I couldn't. Just to be, to try to see for myself without doing any spoilers. But man, that's why you have to watch it. You have to keep an eye on watching WWE now going forward, because there's tidbits. Earlier, and I'm gonna rebash if anyone's coming in. We saw Nikki ASH going at it with Doudrop, or Piper Nemlin, back there. So I love it. We saw, with before prior to that in the Monday Night Raws with Dexter Lumis, when he's teasing him, possibly coming to WWE with the car backstage and stuff like that. It's giving us something each and every promo when it comes at least to SmackDown and Raw to capitalize us as an audience, which I love it. That's a genius move. If it was, whoever in creative pitched that idea to Triple H and the Road Dogg live events, did a phenomenal job. Keep it up. Keep listening and take the good. I like everything. You take the good things and you keep it, and all the bad things you set it aside, and you make yourself a gumbo of good ideas. And I'm loving what they're doing now in the WWE.
Triple H knows what he's doing, so I'm gonna just say it flat out. He's not gonna pull a Tony Khan. He's not gonna just inflate his roster and then have nothing to do for anybody. For example, House of Black.
We were having that conversation. No, let's leave the examples, but we were having that conversation a little earlier. You remember, you don't want to do what the other organization did. Ask all these NXT guys or former to come in promising, and there's only not enough room for title runs. And that's why, Terrence, I'm going to give you a little bit quick recap of what I mentioned was with Madcap Moss, actually was Happy Corbin. He's in a losing gimmick. You don't know what to do with him going forward. Bring up Cameron Grimes, team him up with him because they're both down in their luck with money-wise, whatever. You could help a young talent tag team for a while with a smart veteran. You're building up your tag team until they're ready to become main solo stars while you get the AJ Styles out of the picture. And the older veterans, when they start going over the hill, you start elevating tag because you get them over, you get them wrestling experience, you get a microphone experience, you make them how to wrestle and be a professional on the main roster. Then you can make Cameron Grimes goes on a single instead of bringing in from NXT. Here, go swim. And they're like, oh, this might be a little overwhelming. This is no longer the 5,000 seat arena in Orlando Performance Center. This is 27,000 plus a night. Ooh, it might be a little shell shock. So the same thing I said it about Braun Breaker and Madcap Moss. I would love them to be a tag team. Bring in some of the young talent that you have elevated. When you elevate them, you could bolster your tag team while getting the kids ready when they're ready to go on their solo run. And you have tag team watchable. And that's why I brought that up. I just wanted to bring you back up to speak what we talked about on the show and with a little bit of rehash.
Yeah, man, no problem. I mean, just to chime in on that from that match from Madcap, not Madcap.
Yeah.
Can't say Madcap.
I know. I know. Happy Corbin. I got it.
Happy Corbin. Yeah. I mean, he looked a little stronger in this match, even though he lost. He looked a little stronger in this match, and you could tell I don't know if you noticed the storytelling, I should say, that was going on between him and Pat. Even Michael Cole, when they were saying when Happy is focused, when Corbin is focused, he's a beast. He's he's this and that. But then as soon as he gets distracted, and then right on cue, he gets distracted or something, and then something happens, and then it's just and they kept doing this whole thing. I actually like that. I actually like them building him up. Just to kind of keep something going with him. That way he's not out of anything. He's not stale or nothing like that,
Exactly. That's the problem. You don't want them to get stale because let's face it, the top of the food chain is stacked. You have Roman Reigns, you have Seth Rollins, you have Riddle, you now you have Karrion Kross, you have Drew McIntyre. They're stacked. You can't tell me a guy if you bring him elevated, a Braun Breaker or a Cameron Grimes or whoever Von Wagner, you're gonna put them right away in the title. They didn't pay their dues. They're not ready yet. So I think you bring these kids up if you can't have them on NXT forever. You got to be able to get them, and you put them in a tag team. Let them get the heat, and also you could start phasing. You could have, and I was telling Samurai, you could have a circle of good. You could have best of both worlds. When these kids are ready with the tag team to say they go, you don't have to be 2-3 years, maybe a year, 8 months. You could start them if they really are stardom and they got ready to rocket to the moon, like a Montez Ford. Yeah. It will benefit now. If Montez Ford go on his own, he's ready because he worked as a tag team. We know him already. Household name. He looks jacked. He looks the part. Now, if he goes on his own, we could buy it. This is why we could do it with a Cameron Grimes or Von Breakker, bring him up. Even a Von Wagner. You could team him up with some, you could pair these guys in there from your NXT level. And then when you guys, let's say AJ Styles, 40, 45, 46 years old, he has another year run and he's not going to retire. He wants to stick around. You don't have to release him and embarrass him. You wanted to keep him there, Hall of Famer. You could put him in a tag team program with a younger wrestler. Get him over. Get him with the ropes. Maybe a tag team title run with a last hurrah. And then when he's ready to go, if he's ready to retire, then you could split some of these teams. You could get best, and you get fresh storylines, fresh angles, a new program with kind of the same guys, but something different. You don't get bored.
It's fresh, it's fresh. No, I get what you're saying. Because that's what NXT is for. Like that's what it's always been, just to kind of like, and even back into the FCW days, like they came from that, and then they went into like NXT. But NXT mainly is like the quote unquote, I guess I don't want to say private, but like the independent circuit brand to WWE, the main roster, if that makes any sense. And then like as far as like what you were saying, like as far as like Montez Ford and all these other guys, like, or even future stars, yeah, you're right. They don't have to like stay at NXT for 2 or 3 years. It depends on like, how over they are, like as far as their star power, or like if they have it. Case in point, like I'm catching up on the NXT days, and I've been watching the NXT like since it started, like the rebrand of it. And then like I think, and I didn't even notice like before watching it, I watched Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns in that rebranded NXT, like when they first started. And me not thinking, like before I watched that, I thought they were in it for like a while. They weren't even in it for a year. Seth wasn't even like on that first rebranded season of NXT when he became the NXT champion. He wasn't even in NXT for at least a year. It was like maybe 5, 6, 7 months, 8 months maybe. And then, because if you remember, around that time, like towards the end of that maybe 7th or 8th month, they already had incorporated him in that storyline with CM Punk. As for Roman Reigns, I don't know why, for some reason I thought Roman Reigns was in NXT for at least a year or so. This guy wasn't even on the NXT roster. Now, granted, he was in the FCW, so I guess you can give that some leeway or whatever. But as far as just like NXT, like Roman, he wasn't even on NXT for, I don't know, maybe like 5 months, maybe less than that. And like you can just tell, like when he came out, like right away, instantly, people like knew he had it, because you can just tell how he carried himself. And this is the pre-Tribal Chief days, not the pre-Superman trying to be John Cena days or whatever. This is like, you can tell he had it at that time. And like I said, this is like less than 6 months that he was just on the NXT roster. So like just as soon as like he got on NXT, it was like he was onto the moon, because he was on the main roster immediately. So like I can see what you're saying. Like these guys, as far as like the future building, they don't really have to be on the NXT brand for 2 to 3 years. Now, if it's necessary for them to build, if they're trying to find their characters and stuff like that, then I understand. But if you can just tell something's going to happen, then you don't keep them there for that long.
I agree. That's what I agree with that. There, that's why I would like to see those type of, bring them up, pair some of these people up. You also you want to. It looks like Triple H wants to boost his tag team division in the male as well as the females. You bring these guys, you pair some of these ladies or the males up. Veterans and you could do veteran young, or you got two young guys that you think they could flourish like Dawkins and Ford. You could do that as well, and you get best of the both worlds on there, and like you recycle there, not revamp with that, and you see a lot of excitement. No one thought that RK Bro was going to be the hottest thing this summer. This upcoming spring to summer, they were phenomenal. They were, a veteran and a young guy. It kind of worked, and it was pre Triple H, but it worked. You see that dynamic. You saw when Batista and Flair were a tag team. They were really pretty good. It works. It works. And it doesn't have to be a long term, but to get you over a season of storylines, I think it does. It benefits the young talent to work with the veteran, and also the veteran doesn't have to take unnecessary bumps. They can still get the hot tag, get in there, and get the crowd excited. Ooh, it's good to see. That's just me going forward. But we get to the main event part of the Drew McIntyre taking on the redheaded stepchild of the bloodline, Sami Zayn.
I like that.
I love that match. Boy, this match was freaking awesome. My God, Sami Zayn is just a worker. I mean,
Sami's awesome.
Oh man, Sami tried to flee the ring, but he got dragged back in, tossed in the corner before Drew hit him with a devastating chop. And Sami tries to escape, and brawl started out the ring around the announcer's desk. Back in the ring, Sami threw Drew on the rope, stomped him on his neck, and McIntyre unloaded on him in the corner with a spinning backbreaker. All in all, the match was great. You also got interference from the Usos there. They came out, but all in all, Drew McIntyre with he hit him a glass now kiss on the clothesline. Oof! Yeah. Tell me about the match. This was hard hitting.
Man, I was surprised.
And a lot of action.
I was surprised. Like, I know Sami can work, and I know he's a great wrestler and just entertainer as well. But I guess it's just me being caught up in the storyline, me thinking that Drew is just gonna like smash Sami. When I have to think that Sami he can hold his own. So like, and it showed last night, especially like against the main eventer and Drew McIntyre. That match was, like I said, I was surprised, but I was like pleasantly surprised. That was a pretty decent match. Like he was letting Drew have it, man. Like Drew wasn't gonna run him over for sure. I enjoyed that, man. I'd like to see another match between them in the future.
You know what? I would love to see them two go at it as well. We've seen the my God, it's hard hitting. It was tantalizing. Of course, finally it took a Claymore before going down 3 count. So Drew gets Sami for the victory, but Roman Reigns comes in, attacks Drew after the bell, took him down, and Bloodline. Talking about classic beatdown.
Yeah.
Ooh, tell about that beatdown.
Tore him up. I like how it was like, even though like they're like Sami Zayn and the Bloodlines kind of like playing each other low key. I like how they worked together. Just in that little moment, like when they got Drew outside, and then they put him against the barricade, and the Usos held him, and then had him for like to go ahead and do his lubricant. That was dope. I was like, okay. I thought he was gonna move, but he didn't move. He let him like hit him. He was like, okay, that's what's up. Sami and the Bloodline working together. That's what's up. And then they then they finished the job.
Yes.
Not just saying, they just like finished the job.
It led to one of the most iconic picture on the internet. Oh man, that picture, and then this shot right here. Whew.
Bruh. That's gonna be remembered for years to come, man. Iconic, man. And I love it. I love this one. Let's look at this. Look, you got the Weasel and Sami Zayn, who I don't hate him. Like, I pretty much like him. So like, and he can hold his own. So you got him in that photo. He's champion in his own right. you got the Usos who, I mean, you ain't got really say too much about the Usos. It's the freaking Usos in the damn picture, holding up the one. And then you got, not only that, they're the tag team champions. And then you got Roman just sitting there. Man, that's insane. Like, I didn't like,
Indeed.
dude, you can't say too much about it. That's just, a picture is worth 1,000 words, man.
I know. You go back when they were, back in the youths. You could see this here. You look at that when they were young. Look at them now.
I seen that crop picture when they had Sami and Zayn. I seen that before. I was like, damn, why they did that? They had to do something like that. But I mean, from that crop picture to the actual real picture that they had last night, just goes to show you, man, like where all they came from, where all they're going, and where all they can like produce and continue to like provide for the audience and entertain the audience and keep us entertained, not only like us in attendance, but us at home and then all around the world because they're watching. So, man, this storyline can actually go on for quite a while. I would not be bored with this.
Nope. And we can see the aftermath on Drew McIntyre, my folks.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yes.
I've seen that. Like,
Yes. And that's with that. So just imagine how Sheamus is going to look after Gunther gets his hands on him with his chops. Yeah.
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 I can't wait.
They're going to be more seasoning than a Puerto Rican pig on Christmas.
I'm going to have to try to because I'm going to be at work when that actually comes on because it comes on at 1. So I'm going to have to try to take my break at 1 o'clock to see if I can watch some of it. I hope that's the first match just so I can see.
Yeah, definitely. We'll probably be doing a watch along. We'll probably be doing a watch along on it, watching along with it, going at it, giving you play by play on that there. But yes, definitely. We'll definitely or not the review, one of the other two, but we'll see on usually some guys are afraid to do watch alongs. I don't know why, but it is what it is. But we're that's the old one. We're right now is Heal the Ring 2.0 right now. So we got new.
Speaking of which, I like that background, man. I like that background,
like it.
Bro.
That background is Triple H taking over wrestling.
The background tight. The background got some work put in. I see that. I see you done.
Yeah, and the great thing about it, I got him taking over all different. He takes over. Triple H takes over SmackDown. He takes over Dynamite. He's gonna take over Worlds Collide NXT. So Triple H is taking over, man. He's taking over.
Definitely, man.
Hey, this SmackDown, I understand when folks are not. There might be some negative reaction or it wasn't so exciting. Although it was pre-taped, it was an hour behind because I was on Twitter and I saw all these results, people putting all these results. I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on here? And they started an hour early. It wasn't a SmackDown live. It wasn't live to us. It was an hour delayed. It's still delayed, okay. and they take SmackDown for next week, which I was like, oh, so Monday Night Raw is going to be their go-home show going forward. It's going to be fun because despite it being a go-home show, I think there are going to be surprises. There's going to be build-up for us to watch that Cardiff Wales. Like you said, 1 p.m. Saturday. It's going to be interesting on a Saturday afternoon. So it's going to be interesting to see how that day is going to be fun for us. Especially the 24 hours later is going to be Worlds Collide. So that's going to be even more fun. So, next week, if you love wrestling, you're going to have wrestling from all over and all angles.
It's awesome.
Starting Monday. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan. Starting Monday, you're going to have Monday Night Raw live. NXT Tuesday, where I get to watch with everyone here. Then we'll probably have to do an NXT review show or Worlds Collide prediction. Then we're going to have, those are like AEW Dynamite. Then you have Impact Wrestling has something good coming up. An NWA, an announcement from Mickey James. If you like Impact Wrestling, there's going to be an announcement. Or I think he's going to retire, in my opinion. But they have a good program coming up. Then you got, Friday. Of course, you have SmackDown, Rampage, the go-home show for both of those two programs is going to be phenomenal. Then you're going to go Carter Wales. Then you're going to have World Collide, All Out, Monday Night Raw, and back again and it's like wrestling. If you love wrestling, you're going to love it. This is like, not the Super Bowl, but like, wow, like this is March Madness, September August, dog day of August Madness is September of wrestling.
Yeah, man. If you're a wrestling fan, if you're wrestling, entertainment, whatever kind of fan, whatever you want to call it, next week is gonna be dope. So just
That's
get
right.
ready, get your popcorn ready.
Get your popcorn, rest tomorrow, go visit the house of the Lord, get some prayers in to give you the strength to watch this wrestling, to get powered up, because it's gonna be wrestling non-stop. Man, what a good time to be a wrestling fan again, or if you're learning it for the first time.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
Oof, man. But I want to run down real quick. Just want to give some results real quick on AEW's Rampage. Just want to give the results there on it. Once I get it up and loaded on my notes here for Rampage. I know we said we usually do both at the same time, but we had the Dark Order taking on the House of Black. We actually in an upset. Dark Order wins and beats the House of Black. Miro comes out, interferes, or Sting, Darby Allin helps them out, but surprisingly, Dark Order gets advanced. They get advanced to the finals of the tournament. The semifinals, they'll take on the Best Friends. Next week, you have Warlord taking on Ryan Nemeth. That's Dolph Ziggler's brother. It was and of course, it is October coming up. It is pumpkin season, and one thing about Rampage, it looks like a WWE Wrestling Challenge. We had 2 squash matches. Warlord beat Ryan in a quick match, and Powerhouse Hobb beat Ashton Day, who, whatever. You had also Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello, not Guevara now it's Ty Mello, taking on Ortiz and Ruby Soho. They came out of 3rd Avenue from the Methadone Clinic, and they decided to wrestle. And of course, Sammy Guevara beats Ty, Sammy Guevara and Ty beats Ruby Soho and Ortiz. Big. And one of the matches that we saw for the main event that we saw back in 2000, maybe, or during, or it was the all American Dustin Rhodes. Yes, that Dustin Rhodes taking on Claudio Castagnoli. Claudio Castagnoli wins. So, Jay Cargill cut a promo in the back, and off we go. That was a Rampage. That was a dud. Talk about a dud. That was an hour that I wish I had my an hour back. That's the type of show you watch when you change the clock in November to get to. You don't really lose an hour.
That's why I don't watch AEW.
I'm actually surprised.
Really big coming on.
And they've been decent at times, though. I'm not gonna say they weren't bad. There was times where if you watch my reviews here, I've picked Rampage at times over SmackDown. When I say which of the 2 shows would I have picked to watch, and I have given the Rampage the edge over SmackDown. So it's not totally a WWE bias or tribal. It just wasn't good, guys. It wasn't good. It wasn't a good Rampage last night. They showed a little bit of the Punk Moxley backstage, and I got a lot of thoughts on that. If this is really, if you're giving me an all-out, these two fools to wrestle again, you're gonna lose a lot of audience, because you got the cloud chase that you want. You want people talking about it. Is it a work? It's a shoot. I hate those 2 words, by the way. And you have people talking about it. And if it was if you're working us, good job on all of you. CM Punk and Moxley and all that, but you're really gonna hurt your credibility, because now you don't know what the hell to believe. You're gonna come out as liars, and whatever happens from W, who cares? People are praying to their statues that it's MJF coming out. With them, I don't know what the hell to believe with this company. It's like a disarray, chaos. You don't know what's going on, what next it is. I get it. One thing, I salute the fans that go and attend. They really are hardcore blinders that really go to that product. That product is in the beginning, it was not bad when you had a bunch of indie wrestlers, along with the Cody, the Bucks, and it was something different. But now it's starting to become WCW. It is WCW to its core, and of course, why Arn Anderson is there. Arn Anderson is a major producer. Isn't the Khan's ear? And look, it didn't work for W. Look, Tony Khan, you are supposedly are a history buff that likes about wrestling history, knows about history, you're a fan. Why are you imitating and copy and pasting something that failed? WCW failed. It didn't work. You should be copy and pasting WWE, not WCW. They failed, my friend. Why? It's watching the same thing I saw in the early 90s in Nitro. And now Rampage is turning into Thunder. It's garbage. Because you have Art Anderson there. You're listening to the wrong wrestling heads there. And I don't want, wrestling is good when all the competition is good. Because it helps everyone elevate their game. When WWE feels that they need to elevate, they kick everyone's ass out of the water. When they know they got competition, they just blow us out of the mind with their product. And if that's what it takes from AEW, good. Because I know Tony Khan in one of his backstage meetings with the talent says there will never be another wrestling monopoly as long as I'm alive. Well, my friend, your monopoly might be heading. You might be bankrupt. You might be hitting on Boardwalk and pay with a couple hotels, which is WWE, and you're going to be bankrupt, my friend. At least Daddy's not going to give you all his money to put on a failed wrestling show. So, yeah. So it's hard. It's hard for with the talent, and that's why I was saying to Samurai, you bring too many wrestlers up, or you start bringing all these wrestlers with promises. His story is very intriguing. They're gonna celebrate next year 2 years of him holding the title, Terrence. That's exciting.
Oh, I already know about that. Shoot, if he goes for another year.
Be honest with you, if there was some way that I would like that. Personally, what? I'm the first one not to please to you, but I would like that.
Yeah. Me too, but I don't know because they got so many players out and so many. You got Bobby Lashley, you got Drew McIntyre, you got Randy Orton's out. He's coming back. You got Cody. He's coming back. You still got Seth Rollins. You still got Riddle. You still got all these players. You got Kevin Owens. All these up-and-comers. It's just like, okay, some of these people Roman has been through before, but it's still some of these he hasn't faced. So you got to know eventually. Like I said, I would love to see it. And I was thinking about this last night. I would love to see it go for another year because it will be August of or September 3rd or something like that next year that it will be 3 years. You got to think between that time, there's a lot of competition, a lot of storylines can go on and take place involving the championship. So I can't see it happening, but I would love for it to happen.
Right.
But 2 years in itself is still awesome anyway. 2 years is still awesome.
I agree with you there. Well, that is going to be the review because I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties on my end. I don't want it to pause or freeze or anything. I know, Samurai, you're in the green room and I'm trying to get you in, but right now I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties there. Will be interesting to see on Monday Night Raw. I know I have another hour the Yankee Watch Along coming up. Terrence, man, I want to thank you for joining me. I want to thank Samurai. I want to see if I can get him on and say thank you personally there, but I know he's backstage. He can hear me, but I'm just having a little bit of tech issue there. Monday Night Raw, we'll be all interested and ready to see, and I can't wait to see you and the group on Tuesday night for our NXT Live event, and I can't, we'll be there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a pleasure as always. Until then, you know what you gotta do.
Acknowledge you.
There you go. Acknowledge me.
Guys, thank you. Join us on the Heal the Ring podcast Facebook page. We are on YouTube channel. It is the BA Sports Jedi Network YouTube channel. So you can follow and see our program there along with Twitch, Rumba, and all that audio platform. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We are on Amazon Music and so forth. So anywhere you find our audio platform, we have this program there and many other programs. And we can't do it without you guys, with your support, your viewing, and your likes. The likes and the shares are very, very important, and we thank you guys for it. And guys, we'll see you next time here. If you ain't down with us, we got 2 words for you. Just subscribe. Let's see if I'm able to. Indeed. Samurai, I'm trying to get you on, but some
You
reason
people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up.
I'm trying to get him on here.
Yeah. Sometimes I get get so mad, there's no control
Ladies
in
and
me. My
gentlemen,
thoughts
just in
get
case
so
you live
bad, I'm
under a
like,
rock,
I might
you
grab
are
a bat,
looking
I
at
don't
the
know, my
youngest
rap, my blood
independent
boils
rising
over like,
star in
oh god, here
professional
goes, I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit